college football return. Yes, bro, it's back, man. I'm so excited. Week 0, Aer Lingus Classic. You have Iowa State going up against Kansas State. Now, let me just say, this game was sloppy at the beginning, which, y'all, it makes a lot of sense, right? And the reason it does is because there's played in overcast, first game of the season. It's wet, it's rainy. So I completely understand why it was so many turnovers in the first half. It was 4 total turnovers in the first half. And I ain't gonna lie, we're gonna talk about Iowa State, who won this game. Kansas State defense in the first half was getting after it. They played extremely well while Kansas State struggled, especially after the injury to Dylan Edwards. And if you're in that situation, if you're Dylan, do the fair catch, bro. I don't know why he even took that play. And that affected them to some degree in this game, which we'll talk about later with their efficiency in running the ball. Only 4.1 yards per carry in this game. We'll talk about that more in a second. Let's talk about Iowa State, who had a great game plan in the second half. First half, both teams struggled. It was 7-7 at the half. Both teams would turn over the ball, but second half, they exploded with points, and they ended up having 17. You can make the argument if Carson Hand obviously didn't fall down, it would have been 24. And I meant Hanson, by the way. But now the stats not going to show it, right? It's only going to show 71 yards rushing, but they leaned on him. As soon as he inserted in the game, they weren't even running him a lot. They ran Sama a lot, who had 43 yards on 14 carries, right? Not even the most efficient game either for them on running the ball. Kansas State did really good. They were getting beat over the top by Rocco Beck, but Hanson leaned on them in the second half, and they didn't really have that much of an answer for him until the final drive. He was giving them fits. One point in the game, he had 6 carries for 48 yards. He was averaging 8 yards a carry. But he was the closer. He put this game away with obviously that 4th and 3, and shout out to obviously them for going for it, for Matt Campbell, you know, putting the game into your quarterback's hands, even though like he wasn't the most efficient, but he made the right reads and the right plays throughout the game. And they obviously dialed it up great. Blitz was coming. You get it out to the flat for your running back. 1-on-1 against a slower linebacker. He'll take that all day in that ice game. That is what you want to do. That is how you play smart football. And like I said, you don't want to put it in the hands of a kicker, knowing the conditions, knowing that can be blocked. Put the game in your quarterback's hands, and you live with the results. And that is what he did. And Beck was pretty good today, obviously, against Kansas State. I also want to shout out the performance today of Benjamin Brahmer. It's not going to show it in the stat sheet, but he made some critical plays down the stretch that helped them get the lead in this game, you know what I'm saying, and helped them obviously advance. He's going to be a problem this year. 6'7", 240-plus pounds. Tough to stop. But overall, man, a phenomenal performance for Iowa State. And they got their number. They won the last 3 games, 5 of the last 6, man. And they just, you know, they don't have an answer. Now, early on, like I said, Kansas State defense played well, but they figured them out in the second half and really put it on them. Didn't have an answer. Rocco Beck played well. Didn't really turn over the football. He did have the fumble, obviously, but that was on a blitz package that came for him. But he didn't throw any interceptions. He was efficient. He never looked rattled. Really pretty good game for Rocco Beck. All right, now let's talk about some more stats again before we talk about K-State. Now, neither team was efficient on 3rd down, but Iowa State won the battle in terms of first downs, 19-13. But as you guys can see, K-State had it going offensively, 383 total yards, obviously outpaced Iowa State in that category, just 313. Also, were more efficient passing the ball as well. But like I said, the key here, in my opinion, was obviously, you know, being able to keep the ball away from them. But the difference in the game to me, y'all, is the 4th down. That was the key difference. 3 for 3 compared to 1 for 4. When they went on 4th down, they converted. They turned it into either touchdowns or plays. And the key 4th down that nobody's been talking about with K-State is obviously on their own 29. 4th and 1, I get it. Put the ball in your guys' hands, Avery Johnson. But in that moment, and I know your defense was reeling, they were struggling a little bit, I wouldn't have went for it. I would have tried to pin them deep, hope my defense could get a stop. They did really good in the first half. Obviously, attrition played a factor in this game. But 4th and 1, I'm not going for it with Avery Johnson on my own 29 and late in the game. I think that's just pushing it. Unless, you know what I'm saying, it's a different scenario, I wouldn't have went for it there. I would have punted the ball away, play field position, trust my defense to get another stop, get the ball back to my offense. Did it all in the first half. I would trust them again. I know they struggled in the second half, but I would have trusted. Now, I do want to talk about a big takeaway of mine, and it's Avery Johnson. I mean, that dude can play. I really think he could be a Big 12 player of the year, and he's one of the reasons why, like, they could end up winning the Big 12. Now, look, they lost. Kryptonite right now is currently Iowa State, but he was so efficient with the football. He didn't turn it over. You know what I'm saying? He got it through his reason, his progression. He just looks like a well-seasoned veteran right now, right? Only 9 incompletions all game, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, also ran one in. as well. But what hurt him was the efficiency of his running backs, right? Joe Jackson, 12 carries, 51 yards, only 4.3 yards per carry. They struggled running the ball a little bit in this game. And I feel like that was a lot of it was because of Dylan Edwards and his injury. But they got to get better at running the ball, not have to put so much on Avery Johnson. But again, he handled it like a pro. He had 30, passing attempts. But like I said, he looked efficient all day. I just think they went into lulls where they struggled. They had to go 3 and out, or they had to punt, things like that. Just making the game a little bit more efficient where it's not as much on Avery. But Avery handled it like a pro in my opinion. And Jace Brown also gets my game ball. Really efficient effort today. Absolutely cooked the defense with that obviously dig and go route. Cooked the safety for an easy touchdown. And shout out to Avery again because they absolutely cooked them with Jerron Brandley. Right after they went up 24-14, they answered back with a 65-yard touchdown on the ensuing drive. So they did what they were supposed to do. Just the defense kind of let them down in the second half a little bit. But overall, spectacular performance by Avery Johnson, in my humble opinion. And this just points out to obviously how crazy and wild this game was. First 3 quarters, 4 fumbles, 8 punts, 21 points. In the fourth quarter, just seen an infusion of points with 24 points, 3 touchdowns, and a field goal. So this was a pretty good game. 24-21 last year with Georgia Tech versus Florida State. Same thing this year, man. Pretty good game for week 0, man. And as y'all know, college football is back, baby. Now, my closing thoughts on this game. Iowa State will be a contender in the Big 12. I know Cyclone fans are going to come for me a little bit because I took K-State to win. They got their number right now, but this could be a good game in terms of building blocks in the future, for Iowa State and what they want to accomplish. And we seen the season last year Georgia Tech had. When you win this game, you end up having a pretty good season. Last year, they ended up winning 11 games, which was a program record. Their head coach, Matt Campbell, has been phenomenal, obviously, at Iowa State. You look at his resume, his pedigree so far. He's accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, and he already has 4 8-win seasons. I mean, he's been electric with his team, and they've been special with him at the helm. I expect for them fully to be pretty good this year. Now, for K-State, right, you cannot let this linger on, right? Wash it off, go back home, go back to, obviously, Manhattan and Kansas. Figure it out. Do not let this bleed into the rest of the season. Your team is too good, in my humble opinion, to allow this to bleed. You got weapons galore all over the field. Brandley, right? We also talk about, Jace Brown. You're going to get Lincoln Cure back. And you had a lot of injuries going into this game. So you're going to get fully healthy and get the guys you need. You got a really good linebacker in Wilson. You got the pieces you need in order to be efficient and be elite this year. And the defense showed in the first half. We'll see how it looks the rest of the season. But they can make turnovers. They can make plays and help you out. Just the offense got to get started quicker and not have to obviously rely on it so much in the fourth quarter. But nonetheless, man, that's my thoughts. That's my wrap-up. That's my instant reaction. Great game for both teams. K-State loses 3rd straight game to Iowa State as they advance to 1-0, man. Great week 0 game for college football. Hopefully we'll see a couple more in the future. Maybe a 3-game series or something with or a triple header on the week right before college football, some of the best teams playing, and then obviously week 1 come because the week 0 the last few years has been phenomenal. Next year will be obviously North Carolina and TCU, but phenomenal game from both teams. 2 really good opponents in obviously the Big 12, and obviously you can see it is a rivalry. It's a rivalry, and it's 2 elite opponents, man. But that's my thoughts. That's my reaction, man. Gonna have this all year for y'all. Big games I'm going to be reacting to, and I'm going to have a post-game reaction show as well, man. But that's going to sum it up. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.